Coming off a big win in his last fight, he is one of the best middleweight fighters in the world. I always have fun talking to this guy. Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin, welcome back. How is everything?
Everything is good, my man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Kelvin, let me open by, of course, saying congratulations on the last win. Obviously, very good performance over a very tough opponent, and Ian Heinisch. How did you feel the fight went?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it went well. It's nothing. It's not a performance to brag about, in my opinion, but I feel like it was just smart, tactical, and a perfect execution of the game plan. And I just think my experience played dividends in this fight. And I feel like I'm putting things together better than I had before, and thankfully it came out well in the fight.
Absolutely. Now, fighters are their own worst critics. I think I know this from years of experience. Even when you go out there and have an 8-second knockout, you'll find a way to criticize yourself. But that being said, obviously Ian is a tough opponent, and to go out there and win, and sometimes winning a decision is tougher because obviously he has a chance to come out at the beginning of every round and restart things like that. So obviously you're going to be your own worst critic, but still, I thought it was a pretty strong performance, and obviously you got the job done. At the end of the day, that's what matters most, right?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I just think there was a lot of things that I could have done a lot better, a lot of things that I could have executed on a lot better. Like you said, we're our worst critics, and so I'll always have that. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good performance. I think it was well executed. I'm very proud of the work that I've done, because I was able to stay focused. And that was kind of what I was looking to do, is just stay focused. And I did. And I'm proud of myself and of that performance.
Yeah. Now, leading into a fight, you answer, obviously, you do media days, you do interviews and things like that. And obviously, one of the big questions going into that fight was, well, Calvin, you've come off 3 losses in a row. And of course, we always got to put that into perspective when you talk about the guys you lost to, because again, I say it all the time, there's no shame in any of the losses you have, but that doesn't make the sting any easier for a fighter. I don't care if you lose to Israel Adesanya or the guy at the bottom of the roster. It doesn't matter. It's a loss, and I'm sure you don't want it. But can you kind of give me the sense now that it's over with? Like, did you feel any additional pressure or any additional need to win going into that fight, or did you have to kind of put that out of your mind and just go out there and perform?
Yeah, no, I feel like I just put it in the back of my head. I know that it was there, but I didn't pay much attention to it. I didn't dig too much into it, and I just didn't pay too much attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I say it all the time. I always feel like good and bad when I say this. I say there's no shame to the guys you lost to, but that doesn't make it any easier. I know that. Like I say that because it's true, but it doesn't make it any easier. I know that. I know that's how it works.
For sure. No, none of the losses are easy. I have six losses. 3 of them I think are by split decision, so they easily could have gone the other way. And so it could be I could be telling you a whole different story right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, coming out of that fight, I mean, again, Ian Heinisch was the top 15 ranked opponent. You've been fighting nothing but ranked opponents, pretty much since you moved to middleweight. But kind of give me your lay of the land in the division right now, because it's kind of a weird time. Obviously, you got Israel going up and fighting for a title in a new division, which again, never going to fault a guy for accomplishing something or making some extra cash, whatever the case may be. Here, obviously, a lot of other matchups are coming. You got Marvin Vettori and Darren Till. You got obviously Whitaker and Costa. You got Kevin Holland and Derek Brunson. So kind of give me your thoughts on the lay of land. Are you kind of in a mode now where you're just kind of watching and waiting to see what happens, or kind of where's your head at with this division?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think the middleweight division is on fire right now, more than ever. And a lot of these guys could be champion. One is not better than the other, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm excited. What's coming ahead. I'm excited for the future because there's a lot of interesting matchups that are gonna come up. So I was offered to fight March 27th, I believe. I don't know against who, And I told them, let's go. I want to stay active this year. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
March 27th, obviously that comes up pretty quick. I know, activity is a big deal, especially right now. We're still in the weird time of the pandemic. I'm sure it's good to go out there and, stay active, make some money. If you do fight March 27th, look at the lay of the land. Like, does it matter who you fight? I mean, it's funny, right before we got on the phone, I looked at the rankings and I was like, the one guy that's available is Jared Cannonier. He hasn't fought since he fought Whitaker. He's the one guy that's out there, but I don't know,
Right.
what the division looks like right now in terms of who they'd actually offer you.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know or have anybody in mind, but I'd be willing to fight any of them. You guys know that I don't back out from a challenge. The bigger the challenge, the more excited I get. So, that's why I wanted to kind of throw my name out there when I said that I'd be the replacement if anything should happen to either of those fighters, Whitaker or Costa. So, I know those challenges are ahead. I know those challenges are possible. So just throwing my name out there. But Jared Cannonier is definitely on the radar. A lot of these guys are on the radar. I just want to keep moving up the rankings, get the best fights that I can get, and absolutely, work, stay active. Last year I only fought one time, so I want to be able to stay active.
Absolutely. With that being said, Kelvin, when you fought Ian Heinisch, technically he was the guy behind you in the rankings. And I hear this all the time, some guys in the rankings, and I get it. You want to move ahead. You want to, advance your career, which means fighting guys ahead of you. But then obviously there's the other side, which is you just want to stay active and stay fighting. Is that kind of mentality now? Like, obviously I mentioned Cannonier because I was thinking guys around you in the rankings, but if it ends up being somebody behind you, are you willing to do that just so you can stay active and get another fight?
Absolutely. At the beginning, I was pretty picky, as to, I wanted to fight a top 5 opponent. I wanted to fight a higher ranked opponent, but a couple of months went by and I wasn't getting a fight. So I was like, you know what? Give me anybody. Give me the last rank. Give me the 15th guy. Give me the 10th guy. Give me the first number 1 guy. I didn't care by that time. I wanted to fight first ranked or last ranked. It didn't matter. So by this time, I don't care who I fight. I just want to stay active.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you mentioned March 27th. That would be a great day. But you mentioned before, after your fight, you said, hey, Costa and Whitaker are fighting. One of them falls out. I'll jump in. And I mentioned there are a lot of big middleweight fights coming up. Unfortunately, we are living in a time now where this has happened so many times where a guy's corner, chest. And obviously, I'm not wishing that on anybody. Of course, I'm not wishing on anybody. But is there a mentality like staying ready just in case? Because there are a lot of big middleweight fights coming up.
Yeah, I'm staying ready. And like I said, I was offered to fight March 27th. That's in like 4.5 weeks, and I wasn't planning on it. But you know what? I want to stay active, so I'm taking this opportunity to stay active. And so if it happens, then hey, let's do it. I don't know against who. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition all the way, but if it does, then this is the perfect opportunity to stay active, and I'll do so.
Yeah, it's funny, for all the fights you've had in the division, and you've had quite a few, there are still a lot of fresh, fun matchups out there. I mentioned Cannonier. That's a guy you haven't fought. You haven't got a chance to fight, certain guys. So, I mean, there's still a lot of fun, fresh matchups. And obviously, you can always look at rematches as well. But there are a lot of fun matchups for you in this division still that you haven't had.
The landscape has changed incredibly over the last few years. And there's a lot of cool matchups. There's a lot of interesting matchups, a lot of new faces. A lot of young, hungry killers, on that middleweight roster. So, exciting times ahead for sure.
Absolutely. Now, I'm curious because I don't think I've ever brought this up to you, Kelvin, in all the interviews we've done, just because until now it really hasn't been an issue. But obviously, you and Marvin Vettori are both in the same division, and Marvin trains at King's MMA as well. How do you deal with that now? Literally, you guys are, I think, within like a place or two of each other in the rankings.
Yeah, no, we're teammates, and that's the way we see it. It's a family environment over at King's MMA, so we help each other. We're only helping each other get better. We're only helping each other sharpen each other. So until we're fighting for the title, then we'll worry about it. But we'll have that Usman and Burns situation going on. But until that happens, we'll see about it.
Yeah.
But but we're great friends. We're great training partners. We make each other better. I'm very happy with the success that he's having. He deserves it. He's earned his way every single way. We see that the discipline. We've seen the dedication that he has in his training and how obsessed he is. So we expect good things from him.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone always likes to look at the negative, and I get it. We're unfortunately in the media. I'm guilty of this as much as anybody. We look for that negative headline, like what happens when Kelvin and Marvin finally clash. But I look at the other side, which is you're working with another top 10, one of the best middleweights in the world. How is that not making both of you better right now? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, unfortunately, it may lead to a fight one day if you're fighting for a title. But how bad is it that you guys are in the room helping each other get better right now?
Yeah, no, I love it. And I actually gauge myself off of him a lot because I know there's not a lot of middleweights that can compete with his pressure, his style, his conditioning. He's just a tank in all aspects of the game. And we, like I said, we expect great things from Marvin coming up. We've seen him progress, and we've seen how dedicated and how disciplined he stayed in all this time, and how hard he works for what he has. And yeah. It's gonna be he's gonna be a big problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I imagine it's great to have you in the room with him. Obviously, he's fighting Till, a guy you have experience with. I'm sure that's a valuable asset to him as well.
Yeah, no, he's fighting Jack. He's fighting Till. He's taking all my losses and getting them for himself, which I'm happy to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually learned a lot in his fight with Jack, and I there's a lot of things that I told myself I should have done the way Marvin did, and he did good.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I know it's cheesy. It's kind of a cliche thing to say, but iron sharpens iron, right? Like you only make each other better. And like I said, I'm sure that you're going to be rooting for him to be Darren Till, and I'm sure he'll be rooting for you if you fight somebody on March 27th.
100%. We always root for each other, and like I said, Kings MMA, it's more of a family environment. I'm not just saying that. I mean that. And, he's like another one of my brothers. So that's the way we take it. We're always happy with our wins and take the losses as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get you out of here, Kelvin, it's funny. We always talk about fighting and your career and things coming up. And obviously I love that conversation. But one thing we don't get a chance to talk about nearly enough is you, like me, are a big fan of pop culture. I know you're a big fan of TV shows and streaming. I'm pretty sure you're a Mandalorian fan. Are you a WandaVision fan too?
Oh yeah, I'm so obsessed with it right now.
Now, here's the question. Have you seen the latest episode, the one that came out last week?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had Agatha all along stuck in your head like everybody else? Because it's been stuck in my head for a week now.
Yeah, everybody kind of knew it was coming along, right? Yeah,
that song has been stuck in my head though for 6 days straight
catchy,
now.
Wasn't it? It was funny.
That's a good show. I always see you on Twitter, and I'm like, I see you talking about the Mandalorian and WandaVision. I'm like, I love talking fights, but I almost feel like we should talk more about that now.
Oh, absolutely. I can do it. I can do it all day. I really love it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm looking at all the egg drop videos and stuff as well. So I'm really invested at the moment.
Yeah. What about it? Now you're an athlete. We've seen it cross over before. Obviously, George St. Pierre was once upon a time he was in Captain America. And I hear he's going to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier coming up in March, which would be pretty awesome. What about you, Kelvin? Is there a chance we see you as a Marvel hero one day?
Shoot, I'm not as cool as George St. Pierre, but if the opportunity comes up, why not? I'll do it. Absolutely. I love those movies, and if I get the opportunity to do something, I don't know, involved with it, then I'd go ahead and do it for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. Like fighters are like the hero. Like you guys look like what everyone says a hero should look like, right? So you already got the build, right? So
no way. That's funny.
Well, Kelvin, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you, man. I appreciate taking the time. Again, congratulations on your last one. Hopefully we hear some news and you're going to fight on March 27th. And if not, hopefully we see you back in there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, hopefully we get the opportunity to stay active, and if not, then maybe another time.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Kelvin. Thank you so much for taking the time. Talk to you soon, okay?